received your bachelor in fine arts from the Chinese University of Hong Kong, and now you are studying in Leipzig. Yes, and the work you are doing here in Landskrona, you will exhibit at the next photo festival. So we will listen to you when you talk about the work you have done. It's about borders and Hong Kong and memory and your family and people moving about in the world. And after that I'll talk to you and ask you some questions. And I will also leave some time for questions from the audience at the end. Okay? You want to sit there? Okay.
Okay, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, I'm very happy to be selected to come here, and I would like to give my gratitude to the organizer of this program. I'm very happy to be here, especially Victoria, and she has been looking after me in a very good way. And the people in Landskrona is very nice to me, and Britain, I don't know if I pronounce right, the artists, and they're very supportive, and I have a very limited knowledge about photography because I study installation and space, and it is about everything, and very professional way of working with photography is what I learned in the studio, and I feel very happy about it. And the works that I'm working about is about how migrants or long travel distance people, how they look at themselves and the city they are living in. And the project I started is about the history of Hong Kong. It's much more about my father. And let's begin with the current situation of Hong Kong. And you guys already know how high the population in Hong Kong is 7 million. And we have 1 more million is the people who go and live Hong Kong in a fast way. They may go to Taiwan, they may go to Singapore. They just see Hong Kong as a stop, so that they will stay in Hong Kong for 1 or 2 months and to deal with the business from China, from other places, as a place to meet there, and then they will leave. This population is also 1 million. So,
sorry, Emma, you mean the population who stays for only a short while?
Yes,
it's
yes.
1 million of the 7 million.
Yes, so it's 8 million in total. Yes, so no matter how bad your hot dog shop is, you will have your customer. So that's why people work for a very long time there, because you can see the houses is very small, so that if you pay the same kind of rent in New York, and then you will get a double bigger house. So if you want to have the same quality of life in Hong Kong, you need to pay double. So that for all the young people in Hong Kong, they are trying very hard to learn how to pay their rent in their whole life. So I put this art dealing business as an example of how the business going in Hong Kong. These 2 ladies organized an art fair in Hong Kong 10 years ago, and then they sell their art fair to Art Basel, and then they're very successful in doing this. So Art Basel is really appreciative about the Hong Kong art fair, so that they sell the whole package to Art Basel, and then they have another one, Art Central. It's their new art fair, will be held in the same years of March. So you could see, besides London and New York, it is the third one which deal with the Hong Kong and Asia whole art trading business in these 10 years. You can change the art dealing into financial business or accountant or stock market. It will be the same story that it is with London and New York. So, but the stock market is developed in the 90s. This is only developed in 10 years ago. So this is a very young business in Hong Kong about the art industry. So you will see there's a lot of auction houses in Hong Kong. It feels like business in Hong Kong is very welcoming for young artists, but this is not the story. They are looking at the Beijing artists, not the local Hong Kong artists. We are not allowed to talk about the political issues as an artist in Hong Kong. So why
You're not allowed in what way? Is it norms and why do they choose the Beijing artists and not the Hong Kong ones?
Yes, because the Beijing artists, they will see them as really representing the whole continent of China. And Beijing artists means they could come from Sichuan, they could come from Shanghai and other bigger cities as represented by Beijing. So it's really selective in a really great artist. And Hong Kong is a very small place. They will regard that this place has no talent of how the Beijing artists ambitiously work. So the history I'm going to talk about is also prohibited to talk in the Hong Kong art scene. Okay,
What happens if you would have done it anyway? If they close you down or they try to?
No, they just ignore what I said.
Okay.
They just say no one died in the sea, no one was caught by the shark, no one was shot in the water.
Okay.
They will just say this. All the statistics is just made up by the journalists. I mean, they point at the dishonest of this journalist. I will talk about it. Okay. So we all know in 2 years ago there's a big demonstration in Hong Kong which showed a big success about the hatred of the Hong Kong people to the Chinese government. And this, of course, the British government is very happy about it because it is planned for 14 years. It is deliberately planned for 40 years.
This demonstration was planned for such a long time.
This hatred. Sorry.
Okay.
So I will talk more afterwards. Okay.
Okay, now I see. Yes, the hatred who inspired the demonstration has been for like 14 years. Okay.
So we all know after 1997, all the people have to automatically become the Chinese citizens. After, for 200 years, become the second-class citizens under the British colony. So we are always the second class of the British government. Now is the second class of the Chinese government. This protest is a protest against this second-class identity for the whole life of the Hong Kong people through all the 200 years of history. So Hong Kong as a homeland is a new idea. This is well planted by the British government to make us feel special in the place. We have the same kind of lifestyle copied by the Western culture, and we look up at all the Western-skinned people, businessmen in the society. They will get the highest position no matter they have the same education quality with the Chinese citizens in Hong Kong. So this long time of inferior and the superior identity is in the mind of all the Hong Kong people. So when the Chinese government want to get back this place, the reluctance is very, very high. Why I put this is that all the special place, the most beautiful place, it is still belong to the British government. The officers leave this place, but the businessmen never leave this place. That's why we always need to take some land from the sea. Otherwise, the government will not have any land to use. But they don't want to use other land, you see, because the place is ours, but the land is limited. So we need to do this. The harbor, the Victoria Harbor, is getting narrower and narrower. And the ship is crazily shaking because the wind and the water is getting really, really bad. So here's the story why I say the British government has planned about this hatred. And the Hong Kong is a migrant city, or you can say it's refugees. So you can see these photos at the corner. They are the swimmers from the Chinese. And you know, it's 200 years of colony, but only in the 60s and 70s that the Chinese government has the Cultural Revolution, and then they make a big mistake about the whole planning of the Chinese provincial policies. That makes famine. It's not caused by natural disasters, but the promotion of this is, they will say it's the natural disaster, but we know it is not the natural disaster. It's the policy mistakes. Okay, so then the people swim like how the Syria people do now. So they have to swim at night to escape from the security guard because they shoot near the water. So then you need to swim a little bit further at night. So then you will be caught by jellyfish or by shark, or you're tired because it's non-stop 8 hours swimming. So you will drown. So normally they're wearing a swimsuit, and for the lady it is a very embarrassing situation. It is not that modern at that time for lady to wear like this, you know. It is very embarrassing situation of this photograph for her. The other one is the father is pointing at the son. It's like actually the old man is the swimmer. He is accusing.
And also, as I understand it, your father made this swim. Yes, yes.
He has to do this because he's the oldest in the family.
Yes.
And if he don't do this, all the family will not have anything to eat.
Oh, so this is how your family came to Hong Kong?
Yes. And before I was born, so it's like he come to Hong Kong, swim successfully, then the British government will give you a Hong Kong ID, and then you are free to go back and forth between China. You understand? Once you succeeded, then you're okay. When the population become 4 million at that time, this is a very good number for the British government to have universities, public transportations. And after that time, they refuse the swimmers, you know, because the population is enough.
Okay, so after the 70s,
yes.
they refused the swimmers?
Yes.
So
in 80s, it's impossible, even you swim successfully. So it's limited time.
Oh.
So he's the lucky one who got this special time. I think it's so close to what Syria is happening with the Europe. And however, for all the swimmers, they will still see China is their homeland. But for the young kid, who is very angry about how the Chinese government doing to them, will not agree with their father. They will see themselves as Hong Kong people. But the father was born in China and is a swimmer. They will have this kind of mentality that they are still the Chinese. So the umbrella revolution in the whole sense is about generation conflicts, about these two generations, how to look at their identity.
how is that compared with your father? Do you look at your identity differently?
My father is which is the one that I admire so much. I have to say yes.
Yes.
Connolly is the place saved his life. But Connolly is a crime. It is the whole citizens of China has to become the second class of citizens in their own place. And they work very, very hard, even though they contribute whole life, they are still the second class. And they never can become the highest position in the whole society.
Does he think of himself as a Chinese citizen rather?
Father.
Yes,
Yes, of
rather
course.
yes, but rather than a Hong Kong citizen. And
Yes.
is that the same with you also?
Me, no.
No. Okay.
Of course I will.
You
Full loyalty to Hong Kong.
you consider yourself more of a Hong Kong. You have a Hong Kong identity, sort of more than your father who made the swim.
Yes, because my father is not criticizing the Communist Party.
No.
Even the Communist Party does very bad on his family. My grandfather was died by nailing on the broken glass on the floor and died because he is a landlord. And the Communist Party had to take all the land and houses and even do this punishment on him. And my father didn't criticize on this. This loyalty for me, it's what I'm criticizing. Yes. So here's about British government, how to plan the whole project of Hong Kong, okay? So you will see all the 4 million to 7 million of people have to live in the same house, same lifestyle. This kind of house you will never find in China. That means our lifestyle is completely different from the Chinese. We are watching the same British drama. We eat the Western-like style food in restaurants, and then we look at how to learn English in our school. We follow the same education system. So this is how the British government spend every year a huge of money on research on Hong Kong, how to make it an international city. They send scholars to Hong Kong. They send professors to Hong Kong to teach the very young people in Hong Kong how they become an English intellectual. I mean, it's serious. Okay. So it starts to talk about my artwork. I mean, the history is much more interesting than my artwork. Okay. This is the first artwork I do for the family photo, and then you will see this in background is my grandmother, sorry, this one, holding my. It's a colorful picture, but I'm just trying to talk about history, so I turn it black and white. And the other one is the honeymoon of my parents. My father is the photographer, so I just try to make some shadow besides my mother. So it's something about the childhood memory when I was in China. I was born in China because my father decided to marry the girl from the same village he was born. So that when I go to primary school to start learning, then my whole family moved to Hong Kong. Okay. So this is a map that I do this project. The project is about a grand history. It is so much happening that I cannot manage well to make it, transform it into an artwork. So these are the keywords that is in my head. Then how to consume the whole grand history into simple artwork to talk about the message I want to talk. So first I will give an example. So this is the place that my father swim. Yes, swim a little bit further. A little bit further because otherwise you will be shoot, right? Yes. So you swim here, and then you take the land boat, and then you take the train. It's very It's a very specific. He just followed the people.
Okay. For how long did you swim?
8 hours, non-stop at night. Okay. So you will see the Hong Kong Victoria Harbour. Yes. And this is the same harbour shared. So you have three specific routes to swim to Hong Kong. From Macau, from Shenzhen, and from the place that I was born.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to do is deleting the history and borders and identities that I just talked about, because I don't want to make this Hong Kong history to be so specific that only happened in this world for one time in 1 second. History is always repeating. What is important is our daily life now. So I just try to keep the things simple. What I'm talking about is the harbour, right? It's one harbour to another harbour. So this photo was taken by my father. It's a big picture. Big family picture. That my father took. This what I took in the Hong Kong harbour is one about the time transition one harbour to another harbour. This could happen in any places. And the graduation work I'm doing is